25 times it was hard to stay professional. According to Reddit, number 25. Damn it. The one time I really lost my cool and yelled at my boss. We had been working on a project that was going to change a lot about how we were going to be interacting with customers. The project was something I was really passionate about. I spent a lot of time working on the booth at work and at home in my spare time. My boss and I had a disagreement about an aspect of the program that we were building. I was working on a team of about 10 people, and we all got together and made a plan supporting why we wanted a certain feature. We created mock-ups, solid reasoning for why the feature should be. The only person against the feature was the big boss and had provided no reasoning for his decision. Not having this feature would create tons of headaches for everyone involved. We have a final meeting about the project. I present my case for having the feature added calmly and respectfully. At the end of the meeting, my boss just looks at me dead in the eye and says, "So, what you are saying is that I'm a fucking moron then? By saying I'm wrong about this, you are saying that I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, right?" Way to take personal offense. What are you, a woman? I was blown away. I had been warned before not to disagree with him on anything because he takes it way too personally. Yeah. But I had really been professional in presenting the idea. I had solid backup from the entire team, but because I presented the idea, I was targeted. I lost my temper at the time, not really yelling or anything, but just questioning what he meant in a not so professional manner. I accused him of not being able to accept ideas that were not his own, which was not a good idea. From that day forward, the boss targeted me for any little infraction. I was once pulled into a meeting because I was crossing my arms in front of my chest during a different meeting. Sounds like your boss is a woman, or maybe he wants to come out as a lady. According to him, it was a defensive position, showing that I was not interested in the meeting. Oh boy. Another time I left for the day because I was sick. I came back a few days later to find that he talked to all of my coworkers, telling them this guy wasn't sick, he was just being a bitch. It's okay, admit it to me. You know he wasn't sick, he was just skipping out of work. I was let go 6 months after the incident, and I admit that I did not handle the situation correctly. I lost my temper and said things that I should not have said in that meeting, but for an employee who had been with the company for a decent amount of time, whose last several reviews all stated, "Keep doing what you're doing," and "This guy is possibly the most valuable member of the team," to have one incident destroy my career was heartbreaking. This was close to 10 years ago, but it still impacts on how I interact with people at work. A valuable life lesson for sure. Alright, dude. How do I get this off the screen? Do I have to make the window bigger? Jesus Christ. Why is it so far? Why can't it like... Hello to everybody in the stream chat. I hope you're having a wonderful evening and that things are making sense for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello, I appreciate you. And if you want to join these live streams, the Twitch link is in the description. As we continue up the list of times it was hard to stay professional, we arrive at number 24. What a long entry that one was. Not at my current job, but when I was in college, I worked as a garbage man for 3 summers straight. I have many stupid, sad, funny stories, and I also have one that would fit right here. Where's my phone? Whatever. During my first summer, there was trash. A trash bin that we couldn't move for whatever reason. Like even us 3 dudes in our late teens / early 20s could not move the thing. So we followed the protocol and just ignore it. It's not our responsibility to collect it if it's unmovable. After a few days, the man who the trash belonged to waited for us and asked why we didn't collect it. We took the time to explain the situation, and he very calmly told us that he poured some concrete into his trash can because people kept knocking it down. I'm not even joking. Half of his trash was filled with concrete. Flabbergasted, we basically told him that he had no right to do that. The trash belonged to the city. But when we told him that, he got angry and started yelling at us, saying that our attitude was unacceptable. He called us lowlifes and pieces of shit. He then proceeded to take the bags of trash out, threw them on the floor, and told us to pick them up. As you can imagine, there was nothing we wanted more at this moment than to punch him in his stupid face and just leave him amongst his bags of trash, but we have been in big trouble had we done that, so obviously we couldn't. And since it's against the rules to leave trash on the ground, we picked it up very carefully as he watched us with his smug smile and stayed professional. When we finished and went back on the truck, he told us to fuck off, and we replied, "Have a nice day, sir," and that was it. That was 8 years ago, and I'm still pissed about it. Well, they reacted in perhaps the most eloquent and, upstanding way possible. That is definitely the way that they should have handled the situation. But we don't feel like justice is served, So because of that, I'm going to take the time to go on an adventure with us together to a subreddit called Justice Served. Let's see what's at the top of it today. It seems that a federal hate crime is in place as a charge for a driver at a Charlottesville white nationalist rally. Hilarious. A Georgia man is sentenced to life in prison 35 years after a racially motivated murder of a black man. In your face, bro. There's a lot of racially charged shit going on this page. A Fresno man sentenced to 79 years to life in prison for the murder of 18-year-old Nicole Jones. Man, what is it over? You gotta wonder what it's over. Oh boy. Well, let's continue. Number 23. I teach English as a foreign language at a kindergarten in Japan. My students are 3-year-olds, so there's a lot of me and other teachers having to pull the mad face and telling students not to do something, then laughing about it later on in the day. The romantic dramas that 3-year-olds are involved in is hilarious and would rival any romance novel. But one day, one of them topped the cake, and I had to fake a little coughing fit to distract them from it. Okay. I've assigned the students to draw and color their favorite fruits, meaning they understand what fruit is, which fruit they like, and then the physical dexterity and motor skills to draw and color said fruit. Color choices are ignored because, well, kids like weird color combinations. All of the students are drawing and coloring their little bananas and strawberries and watermelons and everything else they know and like. What's going on with Faith in the stream chat? You guys are all like, Faith? What the fuck? Faith is right there. Why are there all these question marks? You guys are so weird. Yes, but one of the students isn't. Instead, he drew him holding my hand with lots of smiles, because as I asked him about it, I was his favorite teacher and he loved me. It was adorable and one of the sweetest things ever. Unfortunately, it also wasn't the assignment, so I had to take it away and give him a new sheet of paper and go over the assignment with him. But I kept the picture because, well, it was the sweetest thing ever. And then he started chewing on my leg every time he saw me, so it's gotten a little awkward. And I'm not exactly sure what being little Hannibal Jr.'s favorite teacher entails, but I'm betting there's fava beans and a nice Chianti in my future. And the music's probably too loud. Oh boy. I really just want to know how everybody is. Everybody, you guys are fine? Is everything working out? I hope everybody's having a nice evening. And if you're watching this on YouTube during the day, then aren't you a hero? Leave a comment. I appreciate you. Number 22. When you have a meeting that could have been an email, well, I guess it's hard to stay professional then too. I'm wondering where. There we go. As we continue to number 21. I found out my fiance had been cheating on me about an hour into a 12-hour overnight hotel desk shift. I still want my Oscar for no customer seeing the inner turmoil of my life ripping itself apart through the veneer of customer service polish. Oh boy. People, people, people. You know? Number 20. I work for a performance venue that has a lot of guest artists coming in. Guest artists. Some of them being very well known. No matter who it is, we're expected to be absolutely professional around them. It's a point of pride for me that I'm able to stay collected in front of some pretty famous people. They're just people, you fucks. But it's really hard sometimes. The one that stands out almost a year ago is when we had an actress visiting who I was a huge fan of. Not exactly a celebrity, but someone anyone who has watched a decent amount of sci-fi TV would recognize. I was asked to basically be her assistant for the day. I had to fight the whole time to keep her, from completely fangirling out on her. She basically was also really sweet and awesome and basically just hung out with me when she wasn't rehearsing. When she left, she gave me a big hug and oh my god. Sorry. What the fuck? What was that? Everything okay? When she left, she gave me a big hug and a card thanking me for taking such good care of her. No joke, I considered having it framed. I definitely still have it somewhere. He goes on to say that he's a bitch boy and if he named who it was, he could get in trouble, blah blah blah. Suck my ass, you fuck boy. Everybody's naming sci-fi bitches that they'd fangirl over. I think you guys need to grow up, and famous people are only famous because we make them famous. There are a few people that are genuinely skilled or amazing people, but you gotta be like Mr. Rogers level for me to give a shit enough to be like, oh, it's you da, oh. So who's that one? Jenna Coleman plays the character Clara Oswald, and I think she's hot as fuck. She's a little cutie. Look at her face. Oh my god. Talk about getting away with anything. You know what I mean? You get out of here. You get out of here. You get out of here. All right. Thank God. Oh, you get out of here. All right, number 20 minus 1. I used to work at a full service car wash and there were complaints. So management hired a quality control guy who made more money than those who had been there for years, who had never washed a car in his life, but nonetheless, he was an extra pair of hands. Every single day, the guy wasn't only late, but like 2 hours late, and since he was the manager's friend, they didn't fire him. The cherry on top was that he drank too much the night before, and in the car wash realm, every person matters. If you're late, now the other guy there is stuck doing more work, but they don't get paid for it. One car in the bay is fine, but when 5 to 6 would pull up, we'd be screwed. 15 minutes of extra work is nothing, but 2 hours? I don't understand how anyone could even be that late. I could drive to another state in that amount of time. Anyway, I finally had it and messaged the owner of the company and went off telling him how I thought it was bullcrap and incredibly unprofessional. There's no way that the guy should be making more than me, and they finally fired him. So something came of that, and it's good that he was unprofessional because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. As we continue up this list, we arrive at number 18. Oh no, they're legal. There's no fun now. I'm kidding. God. I can't make a joke. It's just a joke. Officer, please, don't tase me, bro. A woman I worked with had some serious mental problems and was heavily medicated. Obviously, no one at work knew this because while she was always kinda catty and bitchy, she never did anything strange. Dr. Strange. One morning? Yeah, boy, that's the new phrase. One morning I'm pulling in as she is walking in, and she stops to talk to me. She starts asking about my wife and then tells me how sexy she is. You damn right my wife's sexy. That's why I put a ring on it. All the single ladies? I was like, thanks. And she walked into the building. From there, she walks into the office of a very flamboyantly gay employee and proceeds to hit on him like it's the last call at the bar. He turns her down, so she sits in one of the chairs in his office and proceeds to light up a cigarette. She doesn't even smoke. He freaks out because he is worried she is high or something and doesn't want her to lose her job, so he escorts her back to her office. She proceeds to do a ton of other weird shit until one of the women in the office calls her husband. He explains the situation and that she must be off her meds, and he rushes over and picks her up. The poor woman ends up in an institution and leaves some very colorful messages on the answering machines for us. Apparently, she also banged a couple of dudes at the institution and decided she was going to ditch her husband and 2 kids for a fellow mental patient. Very sad, but also a very weird situation for those of us who had to deal with it. That's really crazy when people just go nuts, you know? What the hell? Is Queen Wiener in the stream chat? What a bucket of bing bong. So she learned how to spell her name, did she? Kudos to the Queen Wiener. Ooh, kudos to the Queen Wiener. Yeah. Number 17. I'm a translator and recently was asked to translate a magazine article about the history of smutty literature, talking about stuff like the School of Venus. The particular client speaks English quite well and actively reviews my translations, so I'll usually send her the file and then she'll send it back with comments or clarifications or suggestions for words that she'd prefer that I use. That's how I ended up in a professional discussion about what terms to use to describe whipping in a BDSM context. Bruh. Number 16. Working my first job as a server at a horrible Tex-Mex chain that was closed or has since closed. Is there fluid in this drink? Nope, there's no fluid in this cup. Son of a bitch. I'm starting to get my mouth dry. One night in particular, I had this family of 6, and the mother was just a horrible shrew of a woman, demanding constant chips and tortillas, more queso, more salsa, even though they still had plenty on the damn table. Got shitty with me because I put ice in her husband's Coke and insisted that they had specified no ice. They hadn't. I went in the back and I cried. Aw, some people, man. Some people can't take it, you know? Some people can't take the assholes of the world. Assholes. Yeah, asshole. You want some? The other servers ran my food, and one of them told the customer that I was new and trying my best, so maybe give me a break. The woman said some lame excuse about her daughter wanting to be a server, so she just wants her to see how to do the job right. I finished out the table, got a shitty tip, but I did make $100 from a nearby table that watched the whole shit show, which was nice. Isn't that fantastic? When people around are trying their best to balance out the world, because some people are just scumbags in ways where they don't even know it. How can you be so unaware that you are the problem with not just like this immediate scenario, but with the world? Like, look at yourself as a microcosm of all the terrible things that people have to put up with. What kind of person wakes up in the morning and like mistreats other people? You know, like, who are you? How are you so high? You know, you think you're the shit? You ain't got shit going on. Ugh. Number 15. I had a guy threatening to put me on blast on the Facebook group I actively sell. On the Facebook group I actively sell, buy, and trade pins on. What, like Disney pins? I don't know. He claims he ordered a pin from me months prior and never received it. Well, I go through all my PayPal transaction and there's not one that matches his name, nor any with money coming in that I didn't ship out. Finally, I find a transaction for him, and the reason he never got anything is because he ordered a pin and then filed a claim for a refund within the next 3 days. I showed him this and he tries to say that he never got a refund, even though it shows clear as day that the money in/money out my account lines up. Finally, I made him log onto his PayPal and screenshot the transaction info, and wouldn't you know it, it says transaction canceled, money refunded. Needless to say, I was really struggling with not flipping out, as most of my income comes from this hobby, and your reputation means everything. Well, that's why he did it, you know? Some people need to feel powerful. They need to feel the power. They need to feel the power. Number 14. Whenever I work on a feature that gets canceled before anybody sees it. I'm sorry. I feel like we should go to the front page. And I'm wondering if this was the list for tonight. Not that this is overly boring or anything, but I don't know. What's the scariest thing you've woken up to in the middle of the night? Man, that's only 5 hours old. I promise I'll read you this list tomorrow, off stream, and then just throw it up. Even if it's only 10 entries. I'll read it to you, and I'll update it. I'll upload it tomorrow. That'll be interesting. How do you instantly know someone isn't local? These are lame. Where's the weirdest or most inappropriate place you have had an orgasm? Bruh. This is what gets upvoted on Reddit, you know? Degenerates. Number 37. What joke do you tell when someone says to you, tell a joke? Or you know what? Stick around to the end of the list, and I will jump into that entry for you. I will read that one at the end of this one. This list, that is. Number 13. On the list of 25 times that it was hard to stay professional. Now it's whatever, but when I was just starting out in costuming, sorry, you know, because in English, custom, you know, custom and oh boy, no, that's an O anyway. Yeah, there's no excuse. There is no excuse. Look, when I was just starting out in costuming, it was mostly the ridiculousness of some of the fittings that I had to do. You try not to, but sometimes you have a giggle when you're fitting some guy and talking very seriously about how much room he needs added to the crotch of his Continental Army issue knee breeches because he has a big dick, or have to try with all your might to not snap at a skinny ass Broadway actor who's whining when you put her actual measurement down and not some weird vanity size that she thinks she is. Ooh. Some girls just want to be a size, you know? That's all that matters to them. That's all they have going on in their life, you know? Thank God I'm still a size blank. I'm so lonely. Number 12. Oh, jeez. A guy had an interview with my company, and my coworkers and I, man, I'm getting thirsty. I can't do it. What's this? Is this something? This isn't good. What is this? What's this? Ooh. Forgive me, stream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just wet my whistle, guys. Yeah, bro, I got no shortage of old man phrases to hit you with. A guy I had an interview with my company. No, a guy had an interview with my company and my coworkers, and I were looking at his resume beforehand. Okay. We noticed that there were several spelling errors. Oh, you don't say. Including spelling project as roject. So the guy comes in, and I'm along with a coworker interviewing him, giving technical questions and whatnot. He's doing that well. The guy's back is to the rest of the office, and the wall is glass, so see-through, obviously. In the middle of the interview, a coworker on the outside looks at me and slowly raises a piece of paper with from his desk, facing it towards me. On it is a single word in capital letters, Roject. I had to excuse myself to get a drink of water, when in reality I needed to catch my breath to prevent myself from cracking up. Y'all are the worst. I mean, you the one out here were looking at his resume beforehand. Oh no, my coworkers and I were looking at it. No, it was right the whole time. No. I like this. This is my new thing, violent highlighting. Okay, sorry. What's the chat going on about? Faith says, sometimes I wake up to a man's voice talking to me, and it freaks me the hecky out. It freaky me the hecky out. Freaky me hecky. Freaky me hecky. Tell me that doesn't sound like an anime. Freaky me hecky. Hecky no freaky. Number 11. When a parent of one of my students said, "TikTok, you don't have forever," referring to me having children, a week after I had a miscarriage. Ooh. TikTok, you don't have forever. Miscarriages are terrifying. Number 10. I would say the coworker who took a fresh dump and placed it in the office. In the office microwave? Oh my God. Number 9. I used to work at a university, and one day we had a staff Christmas party. The president acts all friendly and even rolls up his sleeves to serve ice cream to the peons. Anyway, he was up on stage giving an inspirational end of the year speech when he rips a massive fart. There was dead silence, but I couldn't handle it and just burst out laughing. Everyone else followed suit, and for a good 2 minutes the entire room was dying from laughter. I felt really bad because he recently had some kind of stomach surgery and probably couldn't control it, but god damn was it hilarious. Someone says this reminds me of a joke. Dr. Epstein was a renowned physician who earned his medical degree in his hometown and then left for Manhattan. Soon he was invited to give a speech in his hometown. As he placed his papers on the lectern, they slid off onto the floor, and when he bent over to retrieve them at precisely the wrong instant, he farted, and the microphone amplified it throughout the room. He was embarrassed but regained his composure to deliver his paper. As he concluded, he raced out the stage door, never to be seen in his hometown again. Decades later, when his elderly mother was ill, he returned to visit her. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I literally shrunk away from the mic to try to cover my mouth, but hey, it kind of fits with the story because it's about bodily noises. Whatever. Okay. Decades later, when his elderly mother was ill, he returns to visit her. He reserved her hotel room under a false name, Solomon Levi, and arrived under cover of darkness. The desk clerk asked him, is this your first visit to our city, Dr. Levi, or Mr. Levi? Dr. Epstein replied, well, young man, no it isn't. I grew up here, and then I moved away. Why haven't you visited? Asked the desk clerk. I did visit once many years ago, but an embarrassing thing happened, and since then I've been too ashamed to return. The clerk consoled him, sir, while I don't have your life experience, one thing that I have learned is that often what seems embarrassing to me isn't even remembered by others. I bet that's true of your incident too. Dr. Epstein said, son, I doubt that's the case with my incident. And the person says, was it a long time ago? And the person says, yes, many years. And the clerk asked, was it before or after the Epstein fart? Oh, God. Stupid. It's just a stupid thing. Thank you, Faith, for blessing me. Let's go ahead and finish this list so we can dive into the really silly jokes, because oh, lordy, bing my boardy. Number 8. Oh, come on, you're killing me. Oh, you're killing me. Oh. I used to work for the 111, the UK non-emergency medical line. I worked a night shift. A woman rang at about 2 a.m. crying, saying, I don't know what I'm doing, please help me. I don't know what I'm doing. Initially, I thought she was one of the many drunks who calls in, but as I spoke to her, I realized that she was horribly, deeply depressed. She'd been unable to sleep, thoughts churning over and over, so had gone for a drive, got lost, and was on the side of the road bawling her eyes out to a stranger. NHS mental health coverage is patchy at best, so we got a lot of calls from people who felt they had nowhere else to turn, particularly in the lonely hours of the night. I always remembered the compassion, but I connected more deeply with this woman as she talked. I realized she was basically me 10 years before. She'd been diagnosed with bipolar recently at the same age that I was and was struggling to manage a responsible job and looking after family, the position I had been in at the same time in my life. There were questions that I had to ask, and I was as sensitive as I could be, but blunt. Do you currently have a plan to end your own life? She said yes and told me about it. And that meant that I had to call her an ambulance. Normally at this point I would hang up or carry on with my shift, but it was pretty quiet, so I told her I'd stay on the line with her for a bit. She continued talking about the crisis that she'd come to, and it was chiming again and again with my own experience. At one point she said something along the lines of, "You seem to know a lot about this." And without really thinking, I said something flip like, "It takes one to know one." She asked me if I could something flip. That is an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force starting. I hope Queen is not still here because I opened that episode earlier just so she could hear a dumb part with a stupid robo turkey.
Waiting for the time rift to open.
Okay, I am starting the music. Oh, this ought to keep you guys from committing suicide. A little bit of technical difficulties. All right. Not that one. All right, here we go. Takes one to know one, kid. Nothing personal.
Oh my god, you're suicidal too? Let's get together.
She asked me if I had bipolar too, and I said yes. And although I shouldn't really have told her, it seemed to really help. We continued to talk, and I don't have to pretend that this is super interesting to me. Guys, if you guys are depressed, I never want you to feel like you have nobody to go to, okay? The Discord that I have is open to you guys. You guys can bullshit and meme your balls off. If you need somebody to talk to, you come at me and just let me know what's up, you know? I believe in you. You have the ability to get through, and life ain't that. It gets better, okay? It gets better. I made the mistake of leaving my door open again. I told you all once what that's like for me. And I'll be hearing things all night. As we continue to number 7, I was working at an internet provider when someone called in to pay their bill. Now, I've seen a lot of ridiculous last names and I've kept a straight face, but this time I just couldn't help it. His last name was Ass Man. I broke up laughing in front of him and apologized profusely. He was pretty chill about it and was like, "It got me a lot of action in high school. Hey." And for the record, he pronounced it Osman. Bruh, that's not how it's spelled. Ass Man. I'm sorry. Wow. Number 6, okay? I'm a wedding planner. We had an unexpected death in the family. Our 6-month-old nephew had passed away in his sleep. I knew the funeral was going to be the day of my client's upcoming wedding. I gave her a call to explain the situation, and she's clearly not paying attention to the call or the words that I'm speaking because I hear her laughing with friends in the background. I get irritated, and I tell her I'll call her later. I call back that night and again tell her what is happening and that I'd be sending an assistant to cover for me so that I can attend the funeral. She tells me that I need to send my assistant to the funeral and that I better be at her wedding. It took me a few seconds, but I calmly stated that I'd be sending her money back and that no one would be covering for me. In the nicest way that I've ever said fuck off. I really wanted to bitch slap her. Send the assistant to the funeral. Somebody said when your head is so far up your ass that it squeezes your brain and prevents you from thinking anything through. Bruh. Number 5. She and her, oh man, it goes on. Oh my god. Oh my god. As we try to put a motherfucking bow on this list that's killing me on the inside. It's 25 times. It was hard to stay professional. It's hard to stay professional right now. I've made more than 25 of these videos, and you better believe I wasn't professional during them, okay? Because that's not what this is for me. This was never supposed to be anything you could find on any other channel. This is supposed to be the diaries of a slowly going insane man that, you know, maybe starts off with a little bit of attention to detail and whoa, I'm going crazy. I worked for the prosecuting attorney, and we were wrapping up a moida case. There's been a moida. It wasn't particularly horrific or even surprising murder. One local drug dealer murdered another over a dispute of some kind. You gotta give me a second. You gotta give me a second. You have to give me a second, forgive me. Excuse me. I apologize about that. I really do hope you're all having a great evening. And if not, tell me why, and I'll try my best to fix it. Can you imagine me just fixing that? No problem like that? Wow. As we continue with this entry, I'll start from the beginning very quickly. I worked for the prosecuting attorney, and we were wrapping up a murder case. It was not particularly horrific, or even surprising. It was just murder. One local drug dealer murdered another over a dispute of some kind. The deceased was ambushed outside of his own home and died in the driveway. Not a lot of people cared. As I said, he was a local drug dealer and what we called a frequent flyer in our courts. Still, the murderer wanted a jury trial, as is his right, and part of my job was to take the victim impact statement of the victim's mother. She was a small, thin woman with dyed strawberry blonde hair and wrinkles in her face from age, a lot of time in the sun. She looked a good 10 years older than she was on her best day. This was not her best day. She and her husband came to my office for help, writing their statements to be read to the judge at sentencing. Her husband choked up almost immediately and had to leave the room. Mother was having a difficult time putting her words down, so I told her to just talk and I would type what she said. She sat in a chair behind me and talked about her dead son for a good 10 minutes. He was a funny boy. He liked to play jokes, he loved his mama, and always greeted her with a big hug. As she spoke, she held her arms slightly crossed over her heart and rocked back and forth as if she were rocking a baby to sleep. I thought she must be remembering what it was like to hold her baby boy. And she was trying again to cradle him in her arms, where he was safe and loved. I cried a lot in that job, but I didn't cry then. I kept my fingers on that keyboard and I wrote exactly what she said. My heart broke for her in a way that it rarely broke for another parent of a murdered child. But I kept my composure and I let her speak. Guys, I want to let you all know that there are many death-filled entries that I typically avoid, but I think it's time for us to beat that shit up, if you know what I'm talking about. Soon we're going to be having to dive back into some of what I consider downer lists. And maybe they're not the best thing to listen to on a day where you're just trying to get through work or you're putting something on in the background for you to enjoy. But I think they're there are more interesting things than the type of shit that you'd find on a trending channel with makeup tutorials or, you know, talking about drama between some assholes that are irrelevant in the grand scale. We got to kind of look at what's ugly in the world and not dismiss it. One of the things that I've said that I think is honestly poignant and I try to think about a lot is, you know, when I narrated the serial killer, the transcript from his, like, you know, it was like a tape that he would play his victims when he captured them and, like, you know, was going to torture and then sexually abuse them. I didn't want to read that because I didn't want people listening to it thinking that I was doing it for the views or that I was glorifying this guy or that I was in any way, you know, promoting this thing that this guy did. But the bottom line was, if I don't talk about it, if I don't do it because it's too grisly or too dark or something, right? It's almost as if I'm allowing this thing to be forgotten when the people who were made victims of this occurrence deserve more. They don't deserve to be forgotten. This shit, you know, for better or for worse, deserves to be remembered. And I feel the same way as it pertains to some of the death, you know, centric shit that I'm going to be reading as we travel towards the future of these Twitch streams and the Twitch and the YouTube channel. But, you know, please remember what I'm saying now. I'm not doing this for glorification. I may even have to make a concise little, you know, fucking rant to make sure that people don't think I'm doing this for some sort of views, because if I did want views, I'd be out making vlogs or running a prank channel or some fucking basic corny ass shit like that and promoting myself on YouTube and Instagram like a fuckboy. So, as we reach number 4 on this list of 25 times it was hard to stay professional, number 4 reads as follows. I had a student miss 68 days of my class in a 90-day semester. Damn, baby, you going for some sort of record? The reason she missed was because my class was too early in the morning. I heard that. The school calls to the house every day the kid is absent in class, and they also send letters. The grades are available online at any time, and the letters are sent home when the kids are in danger of failing. Okay. The child, shockingly, did not pass my class. Wow. She ended up with about a 40, and the passing grade is a 70. The mom called me after finals saying that I should pass the kid because she was pretty close to passing, and that's pretty damn good for missing that many days. So the mom knew how many days she missed. She said that as if she had come every day. Oh no, she said that as if she had come every day, she absolutely would have passed. So I needed to pass her because mom wanted her to graduate on time. She would not stop arguing with me, although there was no way in hell that I was going to pass this kid. I've never had to restrain myself so much from cursing at someone or just flat out hanging up the phone. What the hell is really going on? What the hell is really going on there? I'm sorry, I can't get this one video I watched earlier out of my head where there was a dude that beat up a transgender dude on a train. And it's just brutal, man. The person doesn't die. So I feel like I can show it to you. Get off my screen, Jenna Coleman. Fuck.
Get out of here.
I think it's on Street Bites. I don't know if I should show this to you because it is a bit graphic, but the person doesn't die, which means it's okay typically to share. I'm gonna explain to you what happens. Okay? Okay. So when some people are down, you should stop. You know? How about that? When people are down, stop, my dude. Oh my God. Look, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it in the chat because it is graphic. You're hearing what I'm telling you saying. I'm telling you it's graphic. So if you want to say it, type a 1 in the chat, and then if you just want it to, if you just want me to continue and don't worry about it, you know, type 2. Okay, type 2. Diabetes. All right. Oh my God. Well, I may Says I was playing Doki Doki Literature Club. What has happened to you? What has she had? Sketch Gamer says 1. Stripe says 3. Oh no, Vanessa wants it, dude. Linda wants it. Shit. P.S. Okay. Well. Ugh, that's a lot of ones. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. Well, they put it on a news site like it's fine. So let's take a look. Okay. This is a transgender dude on a bus, and he gets up and he touches the guy. He touches the other dude. Oh my bing bong. This is awful shit. This is awful shit, guys. Just okay. Get to the motherfucking. Get to that monkey balls. All right, here we go. Jesus Christ. Whoa. Why you blurring it out? Whatever. Listen, the dude gets busted in the face, but that's not the horrifying part, okay? He's already done, okay? He's already... What the fuck? Y'all just gonna take it away like that? This is why I hate the internet. Let me try to get this situated on Reddit, because the sizing is all weird. You know what I mean? Let me try and get this sized better. There we go. Oh boy. All right, she touches him. I mean, she touches him. Whatever you want. Oh boy. And as you can see, there's just a couple more hits than is necessary. You see that he's done. He's done. He's had enough. He's done. Please done. He's done. Please. God damn. So he's done, right? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. I wanna. This is what, look, Aime's like, okay, why are you touching people without their consent? Yes, that's how we all feel. Who the fuck are you out here touching anybody? You know what I mean? You deserve what you get. But let me read to you a comment in the comment section, because it completely articulates how I feel, okay? Before we even finish the whole video, let me read to you this. 5 seconds in. Well, don't go starting fights. 14 seconds in. I told you not to start fights. Now you're getting your ass whooped. This shit was deserved. 22 seconds in. All right, dude. You knocked him out. You can stop now, please. Please. 27 seconds in. What the fuck? They're out cold, man. Stop, man. This is fucked up. 34 seconds in. All right, boy. You going to prison, boy. You know what I'm talking about? So let me. I want to count with you. I want to count with you how many times maybe a foot reaches this guy's face. Because y'all haven't seen anything yet. Okay? So here he is, just his head is a reflex bag now, and he's getting it in the head. This dude's getting his gym workout in. That's fine. Now here's the horrifying part, all right? Here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? And I'm not going to finish this video because he starts leaking, okay? I'm not going to finish this video because he starts leaking. I don't want any blood. I don't want any blood in this video. We're fine. It's fine. Hey, it's just something that happened. Has nothing to do with me. It's fine, right? But, bruh, he comes back for one more stomp, 12 stomps on a dude that was already fucking laid out. So, you know, self-defense is one thing, man. Some people don't, you ain't got no reason touching people. How about that? Keep your hands to your keep your hands to your goddamn self. Okay. Wait, why are you afraid for me? It's fine. Don't worry about it, all right? As we continue and finish this list, so we can get to these damn jokes, all right? Because I'm bored. Killing me with this list. Trump ass. Number 3 reads as follows. I was helping a man make beer. No, That's what you want it to read. Read it like what it says. I was helping a man make a bear for his wife's birthday, and he wanted to record his voice to put inside the bear. Let me preface this by saying that this dude is like 6'7". The black dude was also a cop. Nice. You know, power tripping cop. Hell yeah, baby. This large man kneels down at the tiny ass sound station and says into the mic in his deep voice, "You know you the sexiest thing I ever seen in my life, right, cuh?" I'm kidding. I tried my hardest not to lose it. I set up the sound to download, turned around, and held myself together as best I could. I lost it as soon as he left. It was this bear. Aw, he put his voice in a bear. "You already know, baby. Don't you know you the light of my life, girl? Come over here and sit on this dick, my big bear dick. Haha, I'm Elmo now, bitch. You are the love of my life." Somebody just tuned into this. Or better yet, somebody tuned into the dude getting beat up, and then we're into this now. I'm sorry. Okay? Number 2. My former boss called for a staff meeting because someone drew a massive dick in a dusty window in the back of the office. It's just dust. Why you guys gotta be dramatic about it? It was you, wasn't it? That's what somebody's asking. Number 1 on this list. We're finally done. We can ease on into this joke thing to lighten the mood here and wake some people up. Number 1, we have a meeting on accident prevention every time a major accident in our company happens. Every time. A couple of years ago, a man was straining too hard taking a shit and passed out and fell forward, leaving a huge gash on his forehead. Oh my God, you're hiccuping now? Excuse me, now you're burping? I'm sorry. Oh my God. Who said no, Elmo? I may said no, Elmo.
Elmo eat ass.
I can't do that anymore. Wow, I'm out of practice. Ain't that a bitch? Number 1 reads, we have a meeting on accident prevention every time a major accident happens in our company. Every time. A couple of years ago, a man was straining too hard while taking a shit, passed out and fell forward, leaving a large gash on his forehead and a concussion. Imagine sitting around with 8 other people discussing how to prevent head injuries while taking a shit. That is so embarrassing. Our number 1 priority is your number 2 safety. That's funny. Not bad. Take your upvote and get out of here. Who does number 2 work for? Man, don't you hate that Mike Myers fucked up the opportunity for like a really good Austin Powers remake ever occurring with that shitty Love Guru movie? Why'd you have to stretch it too far, man? You know what I want now? I want a Dr. Evil movie. Fuck Austin Powers, all right? Just make a Dr. Evil movie. Put a whole bunch of Trump jokes in there. You know, maybe he meets Trump in a movie and he's all like, "Oh, I like the way you think." He puts his pinky to his mouth. Okay, let's just dive into this. What do you tell someone when they ask you to tell a joke? List, and we're probably only going to do 5 because these have all got to be terrible. You know how it is. I'll do 10. No. Number 9. My girlfriend asked me to stop playing Wonderwall on my guitar. I said maybe. Someone's gonna have to explain that one to me. But to be honest, I'm not sure how Wonderwall sounds. Let me get some kind of refresher. It's a song by Oasis. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Someday. Isn't that song? Yeah, I remember that crap. Wow. I don't know the song by name, but I remember it. Give me more of the lyrics. Are maybe among the lyrics? Because maybe you're gonna be... I said maybe. I get it. Okay. I get it. Good. Great. Another joke old man Kyle doesn't get to be a part of. Fantastic. Number 8. What's the best thing about living in Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. I'm going up. This is the Switzerland flag, by the way. I am going up to the top 3 of these because number 4. Look at, okay, number 5 is a guy goes to do a Los Angeles Police Department for a job. The interviewer says, if you want a job, take this Glock and go kill 12 black people and 1 rabbit. The guy asks, why the rabbit? And the interviewer says, fantastic attitude, you're hired. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay? That's a, Jesus Christ. Jeez. Okay. I'm done. All right. Okay. Number 4. Why do chicken coops have 2 doors? Because if they had 4, they'd be chicken sedans. Number 3. A guy yells to a stranger across the river, I need to get to the other side. The stranger yells back, you are on the other side. You are on the other side. You are on the other side. Number 2. A man is at a funeral of an old friend. He approaches the dead man's wife and asks if he could say a word. The wife says that yes, he could. The man stands up, clears his throat, and says, plethora, gazebo. Sorry, I'm thinking of this one shitty YouTube video I love. The wife smiles and says, thank you, that means a lot. Okay. Number 1. We lost our father after an accident because we couldn't remember what blood type we had to tell the EMT. Dad kept screaming for us to be positive. But it really, it's really hard to, with him gone. That ain't funny. Right? It's not funny. You should all be ashamed. And where am I going to get my titties? Okay. What's the point of all this? You know, these jokes needed to be an adequate replacement for titties in my life. And what is this? After I told my kids torches would stop monsters from spawning in their base. Brilliant. Teach your kids to play Minecraft. That'll shut them up. Shouldn't those kids be playing, Fortnite these days? Thank you, Jesse, for that. Damn, that's a lot of bits. What the bing bong? I think somebody else bidded earlier. That's not how you. All right, to those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. And if you want to catch these live, follow me on Twitch. The link's probably in the description. I'm ending that recording now.